Hi, my name is Hughes Richard Pascal, and today I'm going to tell you how I would explain this grammar if I had to. As you can see, the objective of the class is to practice using have plus noun and feel plus adjective to talk about common elements. The first thing that I would do in my class is to show this of following these following pictures. So there are two pictures on the board. I would ask my student to tell me or to tell their partner first what they think the pictures explain. They would have some minutes, let's say 2 or 3 minutes, to tell each other what they think the pictures explain. So after that, I would pick some of them to share the ideas with the classroom. So they might say, okay, I see that man, he's sick, or something like that, or that girl is happy, she has a new job, or she just got a new job, etc., etc. It's not a problem. And once they finish, I would go straight to the next step with the same pictures. I would ask them, according to them, which question they think they can use for each picture. Let's say they are walking down the street and they meet somebody who is squeezing his stomach. So, what kind of question they think they can ask that person? We have some questions here on the board as well, and I would give students time to talk, share their ideas with partners, and after that, I would pick some of them to share ideas with the ideas with the whole class in general. And once they finish with the questions, so as you can see, I have 5 questions. How do you feel? What's wrong? How are you? What's the matter? And are you okay? So students would match them, and after that, they will share the ideas with the class. And once they finish, now I would ask them to match the sentence or the sentences with the correct pictures. I have a new job. Well, for example, can you see somebody squeezing his stomach and saying, I have a new job? No, that's not true. So sorry, it might be I feel terrible today, or I have a stomach ache, stuff like that, etc., etc. And once students finish talking to their partner, I would pick some of them to share their ideas with the whole class in general. When they finish, I will go ahead and give them a brief review about what is a noun and what is an adjective. I will definitely know that a noun is a word that refers to a place, a person, thing, etc., etc. And an adjective is a word that describes a noun or a pronoun. And once I finish giving them that overview, I would ask them to analyze the sentence. Doing what? To analyze the sentence to tell me exactly, or to tell each other which sentence has a noun and which sentence has an adjective. And when they finish, I would ask them to share their ideas with the whole class. When they finish, I will give them a bunch of words. As you can see, we have adjectives and nouns. They are mixed together, and I would ask students to identify which ones are nouns and which ones are adjectives with partner. And after that, I would ask them again, pick some of them to share their ideas with the class. I will give them a little technique. I would say, as you can see, the nouns, they have an article like a and the. I will give them a little technique about that, and after that, I would ask them to in group of four to write down 4 nouns, 4 positive adjectives, and 4 negative adjectives. What do I mean by that? 4 adjectives that we can use for good thing, and 4 adjectives that we can use for bad thing. All right. So I'll give them 5 minutes to do so. When they finish, I will walk around the class, double check to see exactly if they are doing it right, and try to help if they need help. Right. After this step, I would go straight to the next one. I would ask my students to read the sentences together. And when they finish reading, I would ask them to analyze the sentences by asking these following questions: which sentence has a noun? Which sentence has an adjective? Which sentence has both adjective and noun? Which sentence specifies and which sentence does not specify? Number four and number five, that's the grammar. I would try to be a little bit, I would last a little bit longer in that in number four and number five because that's exactly the grammar. And after that, I would ask them why they think it specify, why it does not specify, etc., etc., just to get straight to the grammar. Now it will be my time to talk. I would ask them to pay attention. I will let them know that we use have plus noun when we want to talk about a specific physical problem. For example, if I say I have a headache, the problem is in my head, not in my back because I specify. If I say I have a stomach ache, the problem is not in my head, it's in my stomach. If I say I have a backache, the problem is in my back. So I would let them know that we use have plus noun when we want to specify physical problem. Okay? And I will let them know we use feel plus adjective. That's very simple. Have plus noun for specific physical problems. However, we use feel plus adjective when we want to express the way that we feel in general. We do not specify. If I say I feel horrible, okay, I do not tell you why. I say in general I don't feel good. I don't say I have a backache or a earache, toothache. No, I just say I feel terrible. I do not specify. All right, that will be my time to just to explain that little grammar real quick to my students. And after that, I will review a little bit. I'll give them an overview about what is an ache, what is a pain. I will let them know that remember an ache is something that we can ignore. All right. For example, if I have a headache, I can just go to bed, sleep, and when I wake up, I feel like brand new. I have more energy. Like power napper, they do that a lot. So I can be working and I have a terrible headache. It's because I'm tired. I just go to bed or I close my eyes. I take a short nap, power napper, and when I wake up after a couple of minutes, brand new, no more headache. That's why we call it ache because you can ignore it. However, a pain you cannot ignore a pain. If you're chopping up an onion, you cut your finger. Hey, you cannot ignore that. All right. So that's the difference between an ache and pain. And once we finish, I would just try to make sure students get the idea, students understand. I would ask them to go back to the nouns that they wrote previously, um, the four nouns, four positive adjectives, and four negative adjectives. I would ask them to write one sentence using one of the nouns, another sentence using one positive adjective, another sentence using one negative adjective as well. I'll give them 5 minutes to do it, and after that, I'll pick some students to share ideas with the class. Why they're doing it, I would also go around the class to make sure they're doing what they have to do. And once they finish, I would just try to, challenge my students. I would go ahead and test their knowledge. I would ask them to use have or feel to fill up the blanks. I would ask them not to forget to conjugate the verbs because the subjects they are different. Right? You have she, you, right? We, they. So I would ask them to conjugate the verbs. For example, if you see she, you have to put an s. It all depends on the verbs that you're going to use. If it is have, she has, he feel, he, she feels, etc., etc. And once we finish with this step, I would go straight to what we call a role play. I would ask my students to go all around the class to ask each other, pretending that they don't feel well, and they would go around the class to ask each other about what the problem is, or what's wrong, what the matter is, etc., etc. But I would also ask them to use on the useful expressions such as "That's too bad," "I'm so sorry to know that," "I'm so sorry to hear that," etc., etc. And that will be it. And also, I'll let them know whenever they want to ask people about their health. If they think there is a health problems going on, they can just ask what's wrong or what's the matter. It was me, Hughes Richard Pascal. It was a pleasure. Goodbye.